Hello guys, welcome to a new tutorial. Today I'll be showing you guys how to make a Spider-Man mask. Last video I showed you guys how to make the lenses. So a few points I wanted to start out with the video is the template I'm going to show you guys in a little bit is inspired or taken from PSM. I'll link his channel down below because this is like one of the more simplest templates you can make. Because you got lots of different templates you can use for like a Spider-Man mask or like a spandex mask. I use this one because it was the easiest, because this is my first time ever like sewing something that you can wear. I hope you guys do enjoy the video, because this is my first time doing something like this where I'm voicing over the whole video. I hope it helps you guys make your own masks, and I would also like to tell you guys that there's definitely a way better way to do the web lines than I did. I didn't really think it through. I would definitely recommend doing the web lines before you sew the mask together. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. So yeah, this is the template I used. You're gonna measure the top of your head all the way to the bottom of your neck, your chin, the length of your neck to your chin, the width of your head, and the length of your neck to right before the curve of your skull. And that's how you make this template. I drew this up in Illustrator and then I printed it out as a poster, which divides it into 4 different A4 papers, which you can piece together later with tape. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing the outline of the template onto the fabric. I have spandex folded over itself, so it's double-sided, and I make sure the face side is facing the place where the fold occurs, so you don't have to sew that part up. You want to make sure you get a good visible line so you can sew it on later. You can use Sharpie as well, but I use pencil. And after you're done drawing it, yeah, I recommend you pin it down before you cut it out. So make sure you pin every few inches or so. So you get a good hold, but not too many pins are used, so you can sew it much easier. After you're done outlining and pinning the fabric, I would recommend you cut out a rough shape around the mask and then refining the cut later on, so cutting out the chin and neck part. After you're done with that, I would suggest, if you're new to sewing, I would always suggest doing a test sew so you know that the machine is set up correctly. My machine is set up on zigzag 3 and retention 4, I believe. I don't know if that is the same across all sewing machines, but that's the stuff I have. I have a Lifetech sewing machine, so do with that information what you will. What I'm currently doing is I'm sewing along the lines that we drew. You can sew outside of the line in the sew allowance, which will be very useful if you kept that on the cutting out process, because you always want to keep like an inch or half inch of fabric outside of the line you drew, so you have a bit more space to play with. Now that you're done sewing the mask together, it's time to check if everything fits. You can put it on your head, put it on your face shell, do whatever you want, check it. If it doesn't fit your needs, you can always use a seam ripper or sew across it again, so you can fix all the issues you have with the mask. As you can see, I have a few like places where I could have sewn better, but that's just because I don't have the experience that another Spider-Man cosplayer would have. But for the first time, the result turned out pretty good. Once you get it on your face shell or mannequin, you can go ahead and cut out the eyes. I would suggest you do it very carefully. You can use like a marker or a pencil to mark out where your eyes are when you put it on. And this is the part where the tutorial kind of splits if you have a mannequin head or a face shell, because if you're going to wear it without a face shell, you would want to glue on the eyes after you cut out the eye holes. With the face shell, you don't want to do that because you get a face shell. As you can see, I'm cutting the eye holes bigger for more visibility. Be careful with this, because if you cut too much, it has a chance of ripping, and if you don't want that, you can try sewing on the edges that you cut or burning it very carefully. After I cut out the eyes a bit bigger, I would suggest you put the head or the mask on a mannequin head just so you can draw the lines easier, but I would suggest doing it on the pattern itself, but I didn't think of that at this moment. What you can do now is you can draw guidelines for your whip lines with like a pencil or fabric chalk, I believe, and then you can go over it with a permanent marker, which I did, or you can go over it with buff paint, which would look way better. As you can see, it doesn't look the best, but I did try it. I tried to make it look a bit like Edge of Time with messy webs. This process took me a long time because I didn't plan it beforehand with the pattern on the fabric. So this is going to be the longest part of the video. I would really suggest you guys get like a mannequin head that fits your head size so it doesn't become a chore. Right here I'm going over it with a Sharpie or permanent marker. I would suggest you try and stretch out the fabric as much as you can so it has some tension in it, so it's easier to draw on it, so it doesn't bunch up while you're drawing on it, because that sucks. If your mannequin head doesn't fit properly, I would suggest you get some plastic bags and fill up the inside of the mask with more plastic bags so you can keep some retention. I did that. It didn't work perfectly, but did help a lot in the process of drawing the lines, as it keeps retention in the fabric, so it makes it way easier to draw on with Sharpie. This is the finished look of the mask with the web lines, and I think it turned out pretty alright. Could have been better, definitely, but for my first try and for my first tutorial of making a mask, I think it turned out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. Here's the final look of the mask on my head. I think it turned out very well. I do think I could have made the neck a bit longer, but that's just a personal preference. I do think it fills out my head pretty nicely, and it is all in all a success, and I hope you guys are able to use this tutorial for your own Spider-Man masks / cosplays. Peace out. See you guys later.